cathartic experience. You go through it and it can be pretty hairy at times, but when it's over, you feel the presence of death, I suppose, makes you feel life much more keenly. I grew up mostly in Grahamstown in the Eastern Cape, although my family's from my father's side from the United Kingdom, from Scotland, my mother's side from the Paarl Stellenbosch area. I work as a strategic services consultant. I try to combine my work and my exercise with the bicycle desk that I built, and I try to just try and stay healthy. Also, always had an ambition to be in the military, in the army specifically, and I'd also to be a journalist. I sort of try to combine those two by studying journalism and then going into the British Army, where in the United Kingdom, where my father served. And then I think a big moment for me was being accepted into the parachute regiment and left after just shy of 5 years, and at that point returned to South Africa. Since then, I've had been blessed with my two daughters, Elizabeth and Sasha. I had been scheduled for a routine operation on the 24th of March, so just before the lockdown. And I went in and had the operation. The operation all went smoothly, no problems. Following that, about 24 hours later, I started getting sick, feeling more like a fever, like as if I had pretty much like a bad bacterial infection. Didn't have any respiratory symptoms, but it only it seemed to last. Maybe it lasted 48 hours, and then I felt that I'd more or less recovered. But I got in touch with my GP and explained what had happened, and said, "Look, I think I must have some kind of infection." The following day, I went on penicillin, but I started feeling really ill in the middle of the day. Ended up sort of immobile in bed, trying to sip little tiny bits of water from time to time. At which point, I made a decision that I think I had to admit myself to the ER. When I presented at the emergency room, my temperature was about 40 degrees, and I was still extremely nauseous, hadn't been able to hold any food or water down, so I was extremely dehydrated. They sent me for a CT scan, and that's where they found that both lungs were badly infected. Because of the potential that COVID-19 might be involved, they decided to test me before admitting me onto the ward. I didn't get the results until the following morning, but they put me in the COVID-19 isolation, and it was that night, I think, that I went on oxygen. And in the morning, I got the news that I tested positive for COVID-19. That's when things really changed. I had never experienced anything like it in terms of being sick. I was vomiting, couldn't hold anything down. It was a nightmare. I think after about 3 days I was discharged, and I went into quarantine, locked down in my bedroom. I guess it was unprecedented. I mean, quite an amazing experience in a certain way, and I'm very glad it's over. But in a way, I'm glad I had it. It hasn't been all negative in the sense of how it's kind of rejuvenated certainly my interest in getting back in the water and doing some good swims and getting back on the mountain. I do think that there are some positives that are coming out already. On the one hand, within business, we've finally seen people accepting the logic behind online meetings, for example, being able to work remotely. Across the world, we've seen air pollution almost disappear in certain cities. Cities which have been in almost permanent smog for decades are now, crystal clear. I think that global conflict, for example, is something that seems to almost have disappeared. At least it's disappeared off the news agenda, but it seems to, this is really maybe an opportunity to hit the reset button in some way and get back to, or move forward to a kind of a better humanity.